Okay, look, we're actually here for a reason. Like, a real one.
Yes. Because the universe brought you to me. Let's go, come on.
What is up, everybody? How y'all guys doing? I'm very happy that you guys stuck around. I know it's been a while. We've been going through a lot ourselves. I know you guys have, but needless to say, I mean, a lot of stuff has happened. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to catch up on. So that's pretty much what we're going to be doing in this episode. We're keeping it real. We're keeping our format, but we're going to be going through a lot of stuff for you guys. It's a little special episode for you, no matter how we slice and dice it. And as you know, always, we got your loyal host. You got myself, Staunch, and we got my loyal co-host. Introduce yourself, bud.
Hey, it's Ken, guys. How's everybody been? It's been a rough year, but we're sticking through her.
Yeah, man, it was a very rough year. 2025 was insane. I don't get how that happened, but what can you say, man? I know we took a little break. We all had a lot of different things we had to get through, and it's crazy because like we decided to take this little break, and then we kind of see like an uptick in everything. Like I know we're on social media and whatnot, and we be getting a lot of followers. Thank you, by the way, for that.
Well, yeah, going back to the kind of shit we went through last year, that was a big blow. Was losing my daughter in February. So, um, but yeah, the page and just all the followers and that kind of stuff. It was a great distraction to say the least. So, thanks to all the people who've made that page, grow and join in with their positive comments and stuff. Always going to be haters. What can you do? But
Yeah. I mean, what can you do, man? You know what I'm saying? And it was cool to see like everyone reach out and whatnot about that. We're all here for you, but always the Feld fam, the two Corey's fam, that goes deep.
yeah, it was a great community feel. That definitely was a big help. Everybody reaching out or yeah, we're back and hopefully in full force. Like we got a lot of ideas that we want to get out and have more of a schedule with episodes hopefully this year. So
Yeah, most definitely, man. I know we're going to be a bit more focused this time around. And like you said, there's a lot of fun ideas we have, and we'll definitely talk about that a little bit later. It's interesting because, like I said, a lot of stuff just kind of happened. It's very odd. Like there was some big surprises there. Like, oh man, there's so much we got to get
yeah.
into. But I mean, we also saw some new releases from Feldman. He was in some movies. There was a big news as far as like some sequels being announced. Feldog, he jumped on Dancing with the Stars. We got new music from him. We got a surprise documentary. I mean, what the hell? Like, there's a lot happening. There's a lot happening out there, and it's going to be a lot to talk about. So, I mean, that's what we're going to get into tonight, guys.
Yeah, that seemed like the best because it was pretty loaded in terms of like every month or every second month there was like something new popping up. Figured, yeah, we got a lot to cover just in its own episode before we get dive back into any movies.
Yeah, seriously, for real. And I know we're still going to touch on a few Feldog releases here. You want to tell them about those?
Well, yeah, I think when we did our last episode in December, I think Going Viral had just come out on Tubi. So I
Okay,
don't think we
yeah,
had either of us had seen it at that point, so we didn't cover it. But that
yeah.
was definitely an interesting. I'm still not really sure who the audience was for that. It's like this weird '80s
Yeah,
mashup.
very strange film that going viral. And of course, we're going to get into that one a bit more. But I do have to say, though, I did enjoy his other release, Sour Party. I enjoyed that one a lot more, just on its own merits.
Yeah, like the trailer kind of had me a little worried. It came off a little obnoxious, but it was once you get into the movie, I was like, this is pretty solid little indie flick.
Yeah. It was. You can
Very
tell.
enjoyable.
Yeah, it's easier to tell the audience for that one.
Hmm.
Because as for going viral, I mean, I don't know how many people even were familiar or heard about this one, but it got a pretty big push. I mean, it was for what it was. Like I saw some ads here and there, and the whole '80s thing. I guess it was a little too late, but they're really pushing that. And like Phil Dog had some, he had like some music tied into that as well, didn't he?
Yeah, I think they used his Vision for You song from Love Left,
Oh,
and they just
there
came
you
out with a
go.
video of that, which was interesting.
Yeah, I saw that. I was like, that's weird. The timing of all this is a little off, but I mean, whatever. um,
So I got the overview from IMDb for going viral. It says, in a neon lit backdrop of the 1980s, a nerdy teenager suddenly gets the popularity he's always wanted when a deceitful artificial intelligence makes him a video star. But it doesn't really tell you the whole twist where it's in the 80s, but it's this alternate universe where in the 80s social media exists. So
yeah.
bit of a twist there that they're leaving out.
How many likes in the last video did we get?
2.
The one before that.
2.
Seriously?
If I could just get more views,
Welcome to Viral Universe.
then I could be popular.
I'm Mr. Viral.
Mr. Viral?
Wait, no, who's that?
Mr. Viral.
Probably just a computer program.
Let's get to work, shall we?
We're famous, dude.
I left the video.
This is the best thing that ever happened to us.
What the hell happened to you, O'Connell?
Very weird getting into, 'cause you're just like, I mean, for anyone out there that's seen it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Things get weird immediately. I mean, I don't know. I'm assuming it was that was shot in the States. I have no idea. It was an
I
off.
think so.
Yeah, there was like an off feel to the whole thing. It almost felt like a foreign production or something. And the devices they have, like they don't have phones necessarily. They have like these like cheap like gaming little handheld system things that are just like, what is happening here? Like, it's hard for you to buy into the idea of the movie whenever you don't know shit about it, and it just like you jump into it and you're like, okay, what? You know what I mean? It was such a big what? It kind of took me out of the whole movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah, what the hell was that device? I'm trying to remember what the device was called. It was like a V box or something. I don't know.
Something weird, yeah. And the for being a movie called Going Viral and it taking place in an alternate version of the 80s, and they're trying to stick the landing of the 80s nostalgia and the going viral thing, and then whatever was happening there, like even with Feldman's character, it was a little weird. I'm just like, this is a strange movie. I guess we can add it to the Fever Dream bunch of films that Feldman put out there, because it's more along those lines than anything that I found. I don't know if I'm being too harsh on it.
Yeah, like I was saying, I'm not sure who the audience is for it exactly. I feel like people who grew up in the 80s and want that nostalgia, they're not going to connect with the social media aspect of it. And then modern kids aren't going to, well, I don't know, maybe because of Stranger Things. Maybe that was the
Yeah.
logic there.
Yeah, that's the only thing I could gather, is that like, okay, this is the last time we're gonna have 80s nostalgia on this big of a platform with the final season of Stranger Things, etc. And maybe people were just pushing for that, because I don't know. I kind of feel like this movie could have even been called something different, or you know what I mean, or it could have gone any way. I feel like there's like 2 or 3 edits in here somewhere. It's just such a strange film, especially like when Feldog showed up. Which I don't know. It's like, well, what do you got to say about that? I thought that was interesting. Like, I wonder, like, how long was this guy on set? Was he on set?
Whoa! What the hell are you kids doing in here? Get out of here right now!
Wait, you're a samurai, right?
Why do you know who I... Wait, no, who's that? I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, you're Eric Canoe, right?
How do you know my name? Oh, wait a minute, I get it. You guys are fans, right? That's what's going on here. You're fans. Well, I got news for you. I don't do any more fan favorites. I'm done with all that stuff. No more autographs, nothing. All right? The days are over. So I got a P.O. box.
Sir, we need 1 minute of your
I
time.
just gave you a minute of my time. Now, why are you still standing in my apartment?
Yeah, it had to have been maybe a day or two. Like, I'm not totally sure, but it's another one, sadly, in that catalog of where he's basically playing himself. He's not really
Yeah.
doing much of a character.
Yes,
He's
yeah.
running it for what it's worth, I guess. It's kind of that classic 80s setup of, the master or somebody who's been through the bad thing before. So now we got to go to him to tell
Yeah.
us about how do we get rid of the bad guy kind of thing. So it fits, but it just doesn't, especially no spoilers, but once you get into it, it just amounts to pretty much nothing.
Yes, yeah, that's the thing of it. And it's like, I'm happy he's doing something. He didn't seem totally uninterested or anything.
Yeah, he
But
seemed into it.
Yeah, and like I said, he got a track on the movie and everything, which is always good to see. I love it when that happens. So it's like I just want him to do more movies. So I'm glad he's doing something, but also it's like I like when he takes on some sort of character because I mean the guy really does enjoy that. I mean he wrote a song called Characters. Come on, so it's like the guy does the guy does enjoy doing that still to this day, which is why I really preferred his performance in Sour Party over going viral because I can actually recommend Sour Party.
Well, I don't know. I think they tried. I think the biggest thing for going viral for me was there's an opening sequence where you got mom doing aerobics in front of the TV, and then
Oh
there's like
yeah,
all these tapes on top of the television, and they do this pan shot going across it, and I get it. Art department probably is not double checking, but you could have, maybe not had a VHS from 1995 in there. Like,
yeah. There you go. See, I didn't even catch that. And it's like if you're gonna go out of your way to do that, I mean, come on. It's like little things like that that included into this bizarre plot and. Everything about it is just so off. It's hard for me to describe it. It's like it was a chore to sit through. I'll say that much.
I don't know if I'd say chore myself, but yeah, it definitely didn't have much lasting power for me. Like,
Yeah.
I, I'm glad I checked it out. It was like you said, it's a new movie with him. But yeah, definitely Sour of the two, Sour Party's the winner.
For sure. Yeah, I did like Sour Party mainly because the two leads. Now, the synopsis to Sour Party goes Sour Party follows Gwen and James, two broke, flailing 30 somethings, on a quest to scrounge money from a collection of lowlives and failed artists in an attempt to show up to Gwen's sister's baby shower with a proper gift.
Meet Gwen and James. They've got attitude. They've got opinions.
It looks like you yourself.
And they're living the American dream.
You want to do sex work now? What, like it's hard?
But when life throws them a mild inconvenience.
So I'm just calling you to remind you about the baby shower tomorrow? You forgot, didn't you?
They'll set out on the adventure of a lifetime.
Is this really happening? Do you want me to get the crystals? No, I do not want you to get the crystals.
And so you get this kind of fun take on these two kind of goofy slacker girls that are actually they work so well together. I'm not sure who these girls are, but I definitely hope they do more together because they played off so well.
Yeah, I'm guessing they had to have been friends before making it because they just have great chemistry.
Yeah, they seem like some sort of like comedy troupe or something, like wherever they found these two. I hope they stick around and do more. 'Cause they have like a dynamic. I was trying to think of where it might have like what to compare it to. And I don't know if you saw that show, Pin 15.
No, I don't think I've heard of that one.
It's pretty good. You would like the first season. First season is great. I recommend the first season to everyone. The second one, not so much. But they have the same kind of. They're playing off each other, like
Oh,
they've
I
known
do. Okay.
yeah, like
Yeah,
the two young girls.
I know of it. I've seen clips, and yeah, that does look funny. I get what you mean there. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. And I got the same kind of vibe to where it was like this effortless kind of thing where I feel like they must know each other. They had to have known each other or something because they're really fun to watch. Even in some parts of the movie would normally be like cringe or something if done wrong or, in the wrong context or shot wrong or whatever. But it's all handled well and they're so goofy and they're having fun. It all just works, you know what I mean? And the plot too, I love it. Like, the whole thing, they're just trying to be able to afford a proper gift so they don't look like the slackers that they are, you know what I mean?
Just has such a good flow with it, and even down to the technical aspects, it's a lot
Yeah,
better than going viral, I'd say. Like
for
it's just shot
sure.
better, and
I kind of wish that it got a wider release or something. Like, it's just one of those movies. Like every time, we get Corey Feldman popping up in something, it always seems like it's just like a movie that's on the down low somehow. You know what I mean? Like I wish maybe Sony would have picked this thing up or something because I think there's something there. It deserved like a small theatrical run. I don't know if it got one or not, but I felt like I would have loved to see this thing in a theater. Like it had that potential, and I hopefully I want to see another one. Hopefully they do a sequel.
yeah, I think it did have a limited like theatrical run, but it was kind of, I guess, in a funny way, it did kind of connect back to Feldman because it ended up being released by the resurrected Anchor Bay Entertainment,
Oh,
who
okay.
thankfully gave us the License to Drive DVD back in the day and
Yeah,
Puppet Master versus Demonic Toys. So it's like kind of a
yeah,
weird connection there.
for
But at
sure.
least that one has a DVD. Going viral, as
Yeah.
far as I know, is still just streaming on Tubi. And
Yeah, I wonder what's going to happen with both of the, like with going viral, especially as far as physical releases. 'Cause if they're going all out with the retro thing, they should make a tape of that shit. You put it on VHS.
Yeah, I think they're looking into that. I saw there's some plans for physical release. So especially if it's an 80s theme thing, it makes total sense. Like do the
For sure.
VHS.
Yeah, really. I would totally get one of those. And this Sour Party makes for a much better appearance from Feldman though, because as I stated in the synopsis, I mean the whole thing is like they run into these different characters and they're just trying to get to from A to B. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of different characters they run into, and they do a good job with that too. 'Cause that could be fumbled real easy, and it never gets too raunchy. You know what I mean? But it does. But in like a goofy female way, so I love that. And then when Feldman pops up, it's a very funny scene because I mean, especially coming up later with the surprise documentary we got or whatever. You know, there's accusations of cults and cult-like behavior. And what do we get in Sour Party? You know, we get Feldman essentially as this like wacky cult leader, who I love. I love it when he does these eccentric characters because you can always see a little bit of other characters he's done before, you know.
Yeah.
Like I always spot the sleazy record exec, you know, from Son of the Beach. You guys like models, or you know, you guys, you got a record deal. That sleazy thing he does, the old Hollywood vibe. It's like that toned down and also mixed with this strange, I don't know, he's like not threatening, but he's like this cult leader and they're like, it's low rent though. So I don't know if he's poking fun at it or if they're poking fun at that idea.
Yeah, I gotta listen to the commentary to find out if that was a specific thing that they were like poking fun at. And well, let's
Yeah,
just get Corey. That would be even funnier. Like,
for
because
sure.
it seems
Yeah.
like he's definitely having fun with it.
I know, yeah, he looked like he was having a great time, and people say, I mean, I've said it, I think we've all said it, that you know, if Feldman were to lean into himself a little more, not take himself so seriously, you know, which he doesn't. There's a wacky, you know, funny side to the guy. The guy loves to goof around and
Absolutely.
stuff, and so it's good to see that again because I understand that that a lot of time with his music, especially. You know, he's very serious when it comes to that. So I love seeing the guy let his hair down, so to speak, even though his hair is in a funny style in this scene. But it's cool to see him do this, and you know, I'm sure it wasn't lost on him. You know that he's playing a cult leader.
Yeah, I imagine even if it wasn't like from a production standpoint, that had to have been in his head at least a little bit. Like, okay, I can have fun with this.
Yeah, most definitely, and especially with Sour Party, I don't want to get into too much more because there, I don't want to spoil anything there because I think I everyone should go and check this one out.
Yeah, absolutely. Like it's if you're into movies like After Hours, like I got that vibe going through
Yes,
it, like, you know, road trip, crazy adventure
yeah,
kind of movie.
yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
Definitely check it out. It has a good early 2000s comedy vibe, which is definitely missing nowadays. So
for sure, for
I
sure.
highly recommend it.
Yeah, it nailed everything it went for. I hope I want to see more from them. Maybe we'll get something down the line. So definitely guys go check out Going Viral and Sour Party. If you go watch the trailers or anything, let them know that the Two Corys Forever podcast sent you.
maybe men just need to clean their hot tubs and their and then the world will be that much closer to equality.
And then, yeah, I guess that was one of the next big news items last year was, I think it was in February, we finally got official confirmation that Goonies 2 is in development. They're writing a script. Spielberg is going to be producing. After years of rumors, it's finally confirmed that it's going to be happening, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty crazy because I mean, Jesus, it sounds like my whole life, right? Like we've heard,
Right.
hey, they're doing another Goonies. Okay, what is it, 1999? Every year since then, it just to me, whenever I hear something like, hey, there's another Goonies coming, or another Gremlins coming, or another Lost Boys coming, or a reboot or whatever, I just kind of I don't even pay attention anymore. I assume at this point that it's clickbait AI or something, you know. So like, I think you're the one that sent me the article, and I was like, oh, I thought this was fake. Oh crap, this is real.
Yeah, there's so many of those clickbait, you know, sites that
Yeah,
dabble in that. It's like, well, there's been a rumor. It's like, yeah, of course, for literally decades at this point, there's been a rumor.
yeah,
That
yeah.
doesn't tell us anything.
No, most definitely, and not to hate on anybody. I get people aren't hip to this kind of stuff, but I got sent so many fake posters, and you know,
No, I feel you there. Yeah.
like, oh, dude, did you hear about this? This is gonna be great. It's coming out next month. Okay, yeah,
Yeah,
because
the
that's
whole
how.
AI poster wave of shit. Like, yeah, that was ridiculous,
Yeah,
and it's
and
still going on.
I
So,
know, yeah, most definitely. And it's pretty often you see stuff like, especially that Feldman was involved with. I've seen like even a Stand By time he went out there. It's ridiculous. So it's like to hear official news, 100% official. You got Spielberg out here. It's great. It's good to hear. The thing though that I'm bummed out that is not official yet is that if our boy's going to be returning or not.
I guess that's been kind of the running joke for a lot of fans after, like, especially after Ghostbusters Afterlife came out. That almost became the template of how do you combine new characters with the old. So it's like you got to have some sort of a family setup. So that's kind of been the joke between fans for years, right? It's like, well, I guess it's going to be their kids and they go on an adventure with them and blah blah blah. But who knows what they're cooking up? I'm very curious.
Yeah, I can only assume it's going to be a new batch of kids on bikes, doing that whole thing. And I'm hoping we get the whole original cast. I think, clearly they can't do it without Sean Astin. I don't see how that happens. It would be wise to get Josh Brolin back as well. Just them being the more relevant, stars, if you will. Also, I mean, we got Kate Kwan out here, Oscar winner, so that's going to be a big, and I'm more than sure that everyone is willing to come back. Get Carrie Green. I want to see Carrie Green on a big screen. You know what I'm saying? Nowadays, like that would make me so happy.
I think that's my cynical take is going with because Key had won the Oscar and he's pretty hot right now. I know his last movie apparently didn't do too well. The Love Hurts, but it got good reviews. So I can picture that being the route of like, oh, it'll be maybe his grandchild. And then at the end, like Ghostbusters Afterlife, that's when all the rest of the crew show up for their like final curtain call moment.
For sure.
Which would still be something, but hopefully it's better than that cynical take.
I know. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. I mean, that is kind of like what I'm guessing they're going to do. Like, it seems the best route. It seems easier than trying to get the whole gang back together and everyone in one big movie.
For the whole thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Introduce new characters, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm guessing maybe there's another piece to the map too that could be sweet. You know what I mean? Something like that. Or maybe why was the map in the house in the first place? There's so much you could do there. And I know I've stated many times before, like, I'm not the biggest Goonies fan. I do like adventure movies. I like kids movies or whatever. It's the screaming the whole time that it puts me on edge. They're screaming through the entire movie, and kids screaming. I don't have kids or anything, so I never got used to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so I understand if you can overlook that, but if you can't, it is like nails on a chalkboard. But I appreciate the movie, and I like everyone else. I want another one, so I'm hoping they do it. I'm really hoping that they get Feldman back for something.
I'm really hoping that they're not just going to do like one or two of them get a cameo kind of thing. Like at least bring them all back for one scene, or I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm curious what the plot's going to end up being and how that turns out.
Very curious on how that turns out, and we'll talk a bit more about how it might turn out in a second, because it wasn't just Goonies that got the old green light there, which is insane. Because I don't even know. Do you know the time frame there? How much longer after it was it until Gremlins 3 got greenlit?
Yeah, I think that was Goonies 2 was announced, I think in February, and then in November we finally got a legit announcement like Chris Columbus is writing the script,
and that was after
what is happening.
Yeah, for sure. And I know there was some rumors before that about Gremlins 3 that kind of seemed legit. Like, I know there was like a video going around of Zach Galligan mentioning a script and basically saying like, yeah, I'm down. I want to do it, And it's like, what? So at that point, it's like, okay, well, is Spielberg involved in this too? Or like Joe Dante? Like, my alarms went off. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, that's what I was hoping is like they would ask Dante back, but I guess it's Chris Columbus is writing and directing or just directing. I'm not too sure, but
oh yeah, that's right.
He's at least producing or something like creative. I know he's creative consultant on the animated thing they did.
Oh, really? Okay.
The Secrets of the Mogwai, or
yeah.
I didn't watch it.
So. Me neither. Well, I might now that I know he was involved, but at least to skim it, at least, because I mean, as I stated before as well, I'm not the biggest Gremlins fan. More of a Ghoulies guy myself. But I do obviously love the movie, like the practical effects of both those films. That is the hallmark of these movies, in my opinion. They're pushing that stuff as far as it could go. And, you watch those movies, and that's the peak of it in that year of what they were able to do, especially with Gremlins 2, because I do prefer Gremlins 2. I'm a Gremlins 2 fella, which is why I really want Joe. Well, yeah, right. I mean, which is why I wanted Joe Dante to come back, because that movie is Joe Dante, 100%. It's like him not being held back or something. I feel like Gremlins, the first one, maybe Spielberg was an influence there or something.
It's got the Spielberg touch to it a little. Yeah.
Totally, yeah. 100%. What I'm hoping is that they go full wacky with, which is not going to happen. But with Chris Columbus, that's a good choice because, that guy's track record is insane as well. And I think he'll handle it well. It's like I'm wondering where they're going to go. I'm assuming it'll be a little darker, maybe a little more horror inspired.
That's what I remember him talking about in some interviews before, like before it became official or anything. So
Oh, okay,
I don't
cool,
know if
cool.
that's changed or it'll be lighthearted. I'm curious.
Yeah. And will it be a Christmas movie again? Like what will they be bringing back from the first or second movie, or it's as many questions that I want answered that we got with Goonies, because they're both just legit classic franchises and they can go anywhere. And especially
Exactly.
now, man, like you're the one that brought this to my attention, that Netflix bought Warner Brothers, and who owns both those franchises. So now it's like, is this official?
Yeah, I can't imagine that Netflix would be shutting those down, but I'm worried about them getting their fingers into that. Like, I don't know
Hmm.
how that's going to be set up for the moment, but hoping that
Yeah.
doesn't crumble them or like delay them and they just put them back on a shelf. Like, yeah, never mind.
Seriously, because I mean, it would be so dumb for them not to take advantage of those. But then when you look at everything else Warner Brothers has, yeah, you can see how maybe they could be backburnered for a while, in place of something else. Because I mean, it's such an insane buyout, and I'm not, I'll stay hopeful, but Netflix be Netflix, we'll see.
Yeah, fingers crossed. Some
Yes.
good comes out of that buyout.
Seriously, I want theatrical releases. So if we get that, all right. But what I don't want is a throwaway sequel, or just nostalgia bait or whatever. Or I don't want these movies to look like Netflix movies either. I gotta say
Yeah,
that.
that's my biggest fear is
Yeah.
their generic look. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm really hoping we avoid that very much. And yeah, man, I mean, aside from even that, like there's so much news, so much to talk about in this episode. We're trying to get through it. But one of the biggest things is, like, even before, like, I guess a lot of these announcements were coming out, we got to see Corey Feldman dominate like one episode of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah, I think he
And
was on for two. So,
yeah,
but
he was on
yeah,
two, right? He got voted off on the second one, I believe.
yeah, but
It
it was
was,
still pretty sweet.
yeah, I know, right? It was cool. Like, it was nice to, like, have a schedule. It's like, what am I doing on this day? I'm watching Dancing with the Stars. I wish he would have made it a little further.
Oh yeah, I was really hoping like at least half of the season. Like,
Yeah, seriously. And I think, damn, it was just the wrong time. If he would have got the call even 5 years ago,
yeah, I was gonna say.
I guarantee, man, I guarantee you he would have made it longer than just 2 episodes.
Yeah, he was pulling out some of those classic moves and stuff, but he's getting up there like we all are. So it's yeah.
For sure, yeah. But it's like, who you can't be. I mean, it's even back when I was working on Jake Perry's Corey Feldman, artist, the man behind the love. Available right now as in director's cut on YouTube. We'll go ahead and throw those links in there somewhere. But when I was working on that, which was about 5 years ago at this point, I guess it was interesting because in the interview footage, Feldman himself is saying, like, hey man, I might have to put the dancing shoes up soon because, like, I'm getting up there. He's like, I can't be doing this forever. I'm as old as Michael Jackson was, when he passed away. And yeah, man, so it's like even he acknowledged it, like, I'm not going to be able to do this as much. And then especially with him going on these tours where he wasn't dancing as much, because I've seen the guy 5 times at this point, and nearly every time there's a big dance break. If you know Feldman, he has custom moves for nearly all of his songs when you see him live, and it's very cool to see when he's able to do it. And I've seen him pull it off, and it blew my mind. I will say that if you saw the guy dance and do his moves, you do recognize that a lot of those are original moves, obviously inspired by people. But and
Yeah.
he was really hitting it, and it was nice to see that in person. But then the last 2 times I saw the guy on tour, he wasn't doing that. Especially with Loserville, it was more of a rock set, if you will. So he wasn't focused as much on the dancing. And then to get the call for Dancing with the Stars at that moment, how are you going to say no? But at the same time, like, how are you going to be at the top of your game?
Yeah, I guess it was like it was a thing back and forth for a while. Like they were inquiring, but it just kept going back and forth. And this was the year they finally came up with some sort of offer, like, okay, we'll
Okay.
actually, bring you on or whatever. But yeah, it's just timing, even 5 years ago, like you're saying.
Yeah, most definitely. But it was a fun time overall. It was cool to see, like, this the moves he did do. I wasn't familiar with his partner. Do you know who that was?
Yeah, I don't follow Dancing with the Stars, but I guess she won the last season or the season before.
Okay,
She
yeah,
did
'cause
pretty
I did
awesome
not
though.
know. Yeah, no, yeah, I'm sure Feldman was trying to hit her up. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, it was good. It was cool. They seemed real friendly too. Like people were saying that there's all this drama, and then you go look at their Instagrams, and they're like, "No, we're good. Like what? Like, it's all
Yeah,
fine."
I thought the TikToks were pretty cute. Like
Yeah, yeah,
it's not my world at all, but it was fun seeing him have fun in that
yeah.
world.
Oh my god, today was so much fun.
They were probably looking at us like, what are those two best friends doing?
Wait, what?
They were probably looking at us.
No, after that.
What are those best friends doing?
That's what I thought you said.
For sure, because I mean, the guy did look like he was having fun. I think Feldman wears his mood on his face. You know what I'm saying? So like, if he wasn't
Yeah.
having if he wasn't having a fun time, it would have been obvious. So it was cool seeing him do it, but it was also cool seeing him be honest about it all. You know, like it was even seeing him do his moves. It was a little off, a little rusty, but it was still cool to see everyone appreciated it. I like how well respected he was on the show, and it was also pretty cool to see the little mini reunion between him and Alfonso.
Yeah, I never even because I don't follow the show, so I had no idea Alfonso was one of the hosts. So it was like, oh shit, like that's pretty
Yeah.
cool. And I guess he was gifted one of the Love Left 2.1 box sets. Like,
Yes, yeah.
yeah.
That's funny because the documentary, Jake Perry's documentary that I edited for him, well, it's in that box set. And while we were making that documentary, Alfonso refused to be interviewed for it.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's like, hey, it's all good. We're still down with Carlton, you know what I mean? But for the fans that don't know, they did record a song together back in the day and performed more than a few times. Most notably, I think, was like at the soda pop parties and whatnot. It's on the box set. It's there, I believe.
It was I think it's an early version of It's So Simple.
It's So Simple. It was, yeah, it was. It's So
Yeah.
Simple, and that was one of Feldman's like earlier songs that he was getting out there. It was also kind of featured in 15 and Going Straight. So it's cool to see that, and it was nice to see that they're still friendly and whatnot. But it's like Feldman, he's having a busy year himself. So to think that he would take all this time off and go to try to conquer Dancing with the Stars, I don't think he had the chance because he's been so busy. And hearing him talk about it, he's like, yeah, I'm a little hurt. I wanted to do better, this and that. And you can tell it hurt his ego a little bit. I mean, not in a bad, I'm not trying to say that, but you can tell it
Yeah.
hit him. It hit him in a way because that's his thing. Dancing's been such a big part of his life. And to go on that platform and not kill it like I'm sure he wanted to. But I love how he was honest about it and everyone was still like, no, dude, like do your thing, fuck it.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
But it's like I said, he didn't really have a chance to prep, even if he wanted to. He's had such a busy year. The guy's been all over. I mean, we got not just a new music video. I mean, we got a new EP, a Beatles inspired EP, and I mean that's not even it. We got like another music video and whatnot. But that Evolutions, which I thought was kind of a weird title, Evolutions 22 for 4.
Yeah, I guess it's supposed to be 22 minutes for the Fab Four. I guess that's what it's supposed to mean.
Yeah, that's what I
So,
gathered after thinking about it for a good while because I was like, what? But overall, like, for it being a Beatles inspired album, which is very interesting because clearly the guy is hugely inspired by the Beatles and he's done, like a Paul McCartney cover and he's dabbled with some Beatles tunes, here and there, but
well, yeah, especially knowing Truth Movement and how deep he was with Pink Floyd and how influential they
yeah.
were for that band. And I never really knew about the Beatles love. It didn't seem as prominent in a lot of the
Yeah.
stuff. But yeah, it's definitely there.
For sure, for sure. I don't know. I can't say for sure that he pulled it off with every track being Beatles inspired, but it is pretty obvious that that's what he was going for. And he nails it most of the time, in my opinion, especially with characters. I think that's a solid track.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that one. I think that was the first track and video that was released.
I think so. It was an AI video, but it was still like, I liked it though. Like it was cool. It hit me in the feels. I'll say that, being a fan.
Yeah, you were the one that corrected me on that one. I can't remember who I thought the character was, but then you're like, no, that's Johnny Splatter. Like,
Yeah, dude, he threw some love to Splatter in that shit. oh my god, like I love that. Like that was, that was for the homies right there, which I loved. Granted, I wish it was done legit. I'm not big on AI, but it was a cool video. There's only a few moments that were a little off, in my opinion, and he showed some love to us, man. It was really cool to see. Not only did we get Johnny Splatter, I mean, we got homie from the birthday in there, which was cool to see as well.
Yeah, it's Sam Stillman from Zero Dark Dirty, and like a bunch of
Yeah,
obscure
dude.
ones that I never would have expected.
Yeah, that was, yeah, you're right. I mean, there was some pretty, I wish it got deeper though. I wish he went more obscure, like real quick. He turns into a cop or something. It's like, wait a minute. You feel some busted love in here? That's crazy. But of course, like the other tracks, the Beatles-esque tracks, if you will, like I also enjoyed those too. The only track I didn't care for, I believe, was the first one, which was kind of like a rock around the clock kind of thing, Like I
Yeah,
get that
retro rock.
yeah, there you go, retro rock. I get that, the Beatles did that too, but honestly, I didn't pick up any Beatles on that track, if I'm being completely honest.
Yeah, retro. I dig that song because I do enjoy some of the '50s kind of stuff, but
Yeah.
I didn't get Beatles from that one in
For sure.
particular.
Yeah, and Feldman's done songs in this vein before. So
Yeah.
it was kind of like, oh, okay, well, that sounds like something he would do. You know what I mean? But the track I did like was I'm a Mess. I enjoyed that one. I think that's a pretty solid track. It's just I do wish the production was a little more, but that's just with all of his most recent music, in my opinion. But I did like that one. What would you say was your favorite track on here aside from characters?
I really did enjoy Everything Away. Thought that one had
Yeah.
a nice
Yeah.
Beatles flavor to it.
That one does. Yeah, he did sell it with that one for sure.
And I
Oh
do
man.
like Love in Three Parts too. I thought that one was pretty good. Ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
down with that one.
For sure, yeah. And he even gives a little explanation at the beginning. So it's like this is another project done out of the Feld Mansion. Greg is all over this, his guitarist Greg, and you can tell that they spent some time on it, but it's like with every project he does, you can almost tell that he spent more time on certain tracks than others. And me just being a fan, I just look at it like as any other kind of music and try to judge it as such. But I know a lot of people might not really be feeling it or picking up what he's putting down, but he's showing love to one of his favorite bands. And it's like you said, he's doing it for the Beatles this time because he took Truth Movement like as far as he could with as far as being inspired by the Pink Floyd stuff. And I always tell people, like, don't sleep on Feldman. Like, his music didn't start with Angelic to the Core. He didn't start making music on the Today Show. You know what I mean? So you got to dig deeper, and you'll find like the guy really can just make some crazy music and rock the out with with his band. Like Truth Movement was crazy slept on, and it was cool to see that I forget his name all the time, but to see that saxophone player pop up on this, from I believe that's on the current lineup or like the last few lineups of Truth Movement, pop up here.
Is that Scotty Page?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah,
That dude
okay.
is awesome, man. On live, he's all over the set live, so it is very cool to see. I can't recommend it enough. Going to catch a Corey Feldman show, but also I do recommend everyone checking out this little project he did, Evolutions 22 for 4.
Well, I guess that was one thing. I think this was his first time working with Dolby Atmos, so that might have added some difficult production elements to it. So that might be why it sounds a little off here and there, because it's, again, I guess that's a very technical process. You have to know exactly what you're doing. So who knows?
Yeah, that makes sense because from what I gathered before, it was like Greg using Pro Tools, and so it's like
Okay.
I'm not sure exactly how they go about all of that. But that being said, like I was thinking the other day, like I wish Feldman would hook up with Michael Damian again, because I think that was like the best production wise and vocally that like Feldman ever was. But that being said, Feldman does have some standout vocals on this thing, so I do recommend it. It's available everywhere. Go show him some love, and I'm hoping it gets an actual release. Like I hope he puts everything on vinyl at some point.
Yeah, at least a CD. Like I buy CDs mainly, but fuck it, I'll
Yeah.
buy a vinyl. Like And then, yeah, speaking of bombshell news and all this kind of stuff from last year, we got this surprise doc at the end of the year
Oh man,
in
yeah.
December. Like, I think the trailer dropped like on the 2nd or 3rd or at the end of November, something like that. And it just came out of nowhere, seemingly. Like,
Totally, yeah. What a surprise! Like I didn't know what to think at first, and it was funny because like a week before that, this YouTuber he made this like long, drawn out, going over Feldman's whole life with news clips and stuff like that, and he
yeah, I
was
did
calling.
see that.
Yeah, I remember it was like a two-parter kind of thing. It was pretty good
Like
watch,
Corey's
honestly.
story. And yeah, it was a
Yeah,
lot of it was clearly well researched for the most part. Like they found
yeah.
all the commercials and corroborated it with the certain interviews and this and that. But yeah.
Yeah, he did a good job. I mean, he went all out and then misspelled a bunch of stuff in his whatever. So that happened, and then it's like, hey, there's this trailer for a documentary that just came out of nowhere called Corey Feldman versus the World. And my first thought was, okay, this guy put both videos together. I had no idea that this
Right.
documentary was even a thing or was supposed to be a thing because this is a strange documentary.
A lot of people think, well, he had all these big movies in the 80s, and that was like his hot point, and now it's just kind of, him trying to stay in the limelight.
Come on, guys, let's not spend all night in front of these lights.
Look, this project is about to be like the biggest thing in the world.
I never played electric bass in my life, so...
It's called Corey Feldman versus the World, but it is 10 years nearly in the making, and they managed to keep it under a rock. Like I had no idea about this thing.
Well, especially because you did go to at least one of the Angel shows, right? During that period.
Yeah, I
So
was
like
there. Yeah.
we were talking about that. Like, did you see somebody with a camera at some point, like hanging around the stage?
And the show I was at, like I said before, K Kwan was there, and they did the Goonie song together. And this is pre-Oscar K Kwan, and Pauly Shore was in the crowd. And it would have been if they had a camera and they're making a documentary, that would have been the time to shoot some stuff.
Yeah, that would have been a great moment.
Yeah, and it was after that tour that the whole Wolfpack, Bobby Wolf thing online, and that's when all the rumor mills started. And so I was familiar with all that. I watched all of those videos. I took it all in. But it was still a lot of stuff that I was like, okay, I can buy this. I don't know about this. Whatever. Still had no idea that they were making a documentary. I went to LA to make a documentary, with the guys, and I still had no idea that that was, it's like so us being so deep in this and being fans, it's pretty crazy that there's still some secrets out there.
Yeah, I'm surprised that it was so kind of under the radar until it was like, hey, it's literally about to drop. Like, wait, what?
Madness. And I watched that trailer and I was like, whoa.
I wasn't sure what the angle was, or like, oh man, like especially knowing some of the stories that some of the Angels have told, and it's like, what exactly is this going to be the end of our boy, or like?
I know, yeah. And I was like, holy shit. And then I can't lie, the documentary got me totally interested in wanting to see it, like because I mean, Feldman's an eccentric guy. He's a character. When he's on. He's there to entertain. He's a force. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to explain or describe, but to get that all candidly like they did in this documentary, if he were aware, I would say that it's something to behold, etc. But the fact that it was done the way it was can't help but have a kind of a bad taste in my mouth. But then again, I mean, the camera don't lie. You know what I'm saying?
It's definitely a rough spot to be in as a fan, like because it's objectively there are parts where he doesn't look good, and it's just. But I also see that in myself a little bit. Like I've been there when trying to get an effect shot for our little movie, and like you have it so wrapped up and so perfect in your mind, and then trying to articulate it to somebody else who has no idea what the vision is, and then you get so nope, that's not exactly how I see, and you get mad and whatever. But it's the reflection, right? At the end of the day, you say, oh, well, I shouldn't have acted like that.
Most definitely. And we'll get into everything else, but just to defend the guy a little bit, a lot of the harsher things that were said on the Bobby Wolf videos didn't seem to pan out with the footage that we saw. Some of it did, you know what I mean? Some of it, a lot of this stuff I'm sure was harder if you were in the Angels' shoes and you were there on the buses and going through it or whatever. But I will also say this, go on any tour that is DIY, which that was, and it's gonna be rougher than that.
Right.
I'll say that much. And that's because they all signed a contract. They were on Corey's show, and Corey was doing something he had never done before, which is book a cross-country tour and do it himself. I always say Corey is way more punk rock than he thinks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because I've done it, man. I've toured damn near all of America, just in a van with other dudes, and it's fun, but it's not. fun, you know, especially when you're the one in charge getting everyone together in A to B. You're gonna yell at your friends, you know, it's gonna happen, and apologies have to be made in some cases, which is the only thing I could say. That Corey, I think he might owe a lot of these people sincere apologies, or at least owe them an honest conversation, seeing a lot of the way he treated some of these people, because even circumstances aside, I mean, it was a bit much at some points, like you were saying. But
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, like I said, this is his show. He was doing it. It wasn't well planned out. He didn't know what he was really doing, you know, and it showed. I went to those shows and I saw the malfunctions, and it made me smile because I'd been there. He's doing what I'd done before, and to see that he's doing that because he loves to do it. He loves his music. That's why I'm a fan, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, again, like, yeah, that sense of like self-importance in that way where like your vision overtakes everything. But it's again an interesting balancing act, because one minute I'm feeling for Margot and the Angels about like they're not even allowed to go to
Yes.
the bathroom, but then the next minute the tour manager just let the girls run off and go do something. All right,
Oh,
well now I'm
yeah.
kind of on Corey's side. Like it was an
Yeah.
interesting dynamic overall.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think I forget her name. What was the director's name?
Marcy Hume.
Yeah, like I think she did a pretty good job at putting just the info out there, and as trying to get it out there the way she saw it. There wasn't really any trickery going on that I caught editing wise, which is nice to see. Like there was a few things, but overall it was very much a focused documentary, and I think you don't even need to be a fan. It's going to be an entertaining documentary. The only thing
Yeah.
I saw that like kind of rubbed me the wrong way editing wise was, I think that the live footage of the show she used was, maybe she picked the worst performances, or she picked the fans that were mocking him to show, and definitely could have had better audio, because it seemed like recorded live audio that was just mixed horribly and not representing what was going on there. Although I admit those shows were rough.
Well, I also wonder if that maybe had something to do with like rights issues, because I guess at a certain point, her and Corey did like split up or whatever.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
she did have the footage, and it was like, I guess she was still working on it all these years. And that just might have been a thing of like, well, obviously he's not going to license his music for this. Like,
For sure.
so
Yeah.
that's the vibe I got, because it's a lot more like stylized, slow motion. You get more like ethereal score type music playing over top, showing him with the audience, and it's not so much about the music. But that's
Yeah,
just my
most
guess.
definitely. Yeah, for sure. And it does. I mean, it gives Corey the room to shoot himself in his own foot. And she knew she had all that footage, so she let it play out. And I gotta hand it to her for at least being honest in that respect. And there's more than a few times in this where Corey does look good and he gets his point across and he lets it be known. He says it very clear in this documentary. Like, I've been famous my whole life. Like, I don't know how to be normal, or something along those lines.
That was my favorite aspect, is because that's a big aspect about the two guys in general, right? Just being that famous when you were that young and not really knowing what normal life was, and being
Yeah,
thrust
man.
into the spotlight, like especially Feldman from age 3, like that's kind of a big jump. So it's,
Most
yeah,
definitely.
what is normal exactly when you've been through that from
Yeah.
that age? So
Well, you don't know. I mean, you're surrounded by yes men, and to people taking advantage, and then to not have that at some point, you know?
Why can't we hang it from the risers? That's what.
House rules. When you have yes men around you, especially as a kid, you know, at that age, you're highly influenceable. And if everyone tells you that you're always right, then it kind of sticks with you, I could imagine.
And then you question who your real friends are, and you got to rebuild your circle, all the while not having a team of these yes men or ass kissers, etc. And how are you going to act? I admit, maybe he has time to have figured it out by now, but
yeah, that's the other big thing, is like this is 10 years ago at this point. So like I feel
yeah.
like anybody grows at that point, but
Most definitely.
you
Which
know.
was what I'm saying. Like, I do think he owes some people apologies, et cetera. But I don't know the dynamics there. I don't know exactly how she was able to do this legally, or, you know, how all that played out. So I guess I can't speak on that part.
Yeah, I guess there's going to be a potential lawsuit. I don't know the details, but I think that's what I understand Feldman's looking to pursue.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll see how that turns out. Like, it seemed pretty cut and dry. Like, it wouldn't have gotten a release on Apple TV if they didn't have
I
releases.
know, most
So
definitely.
I don't know what the deal is, but Corey's ex-manager was also involved as one of the producers.
Oh
So
wow.
I've seen comments pop up giving all kinds of theories and shit, but we're not going to know what exactly the deal is at this point anyway. Like,
And
at the end of the day, it's a difficult spot to be in as a fan of the guy, but
definitely.
he's definitely grown over the years, I'd say.
Most, yeah, for sure, dude. It is. I'll admit that too. It was like we'll get to the more harsh parts of the documentary, but yeah, it was like I had to take some time, and be like, damn, like I've defended this guy to the end and back. I was like, at some point, it's like I'm not gonna lie to myself. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always honest with this stuff. I'll give a critique because I love film in general, right? So I'll give a critique on a movie based on its merits or based on the director's previous stuff, et cetera, et cetera. Someone doesn't agree with me, like, oh, what, Corey Feldman's not in it, so you don't like it. I'm just like, oh my god, it goes immediately there. It's like people don't realize I love silly movies. I love all this. I like everything he's put out for the most part, and even his bad stuff. You know what I mean? So it's like I can defend a lot of crap, if I'm being honest, because that's just what you kind of have to do if you're a fan of Feldman or anyone eccentric. People just like to point the finger at this guy, but it was rough, man. I don't. It was like, okay, is it time to separate the art from the artist?
Has the line in the sand officially been drawn? Like,
Yes.
that's what I was waiting for, because based on several of the other stories that the Angels tell, it's like, well, how deep is this getting?
Yeah,
But then
and like
that's the other thing with him motioning to cut the camera a couple of times. So it's like,
oh
I guess
yeah,
that's
yeah,
supposed to be implied is like, well, we didn't technically see, so it's supposed to leave it to your imagination.
for
But I
sure.
think that's what I like about it. It doesn't seem like it's pushing you one way or the other. It's kind of, well, what do you think of this? You draw
Yeah.
your own conclusions.
Most definitely. It's like a lot of this stuff is true, and it's like I'm a fan. I knew about all the accusations already. There was no new information in this documentary for me as
No.
far as that goes. In fact, it seemed tame. There was stuff they didn't include that I thought they would have if they're talking all these
Yeah,
accusations
exactly.
that were out there. The bus driver, he wasn't really a big part of it. There was like all the accusations about the wild sex parties and the drugs on the bus and all this stuff. Like there's no footage of that anywhere.
There's some kind of comments about drugs like offhand, but yeah, they don't really go into detail. And
Yeah, it's very weird. And you watch those old YouTube videos or whatever, and they go in depth about how they said there was animals all over the bus and feces everywhere
yeah,
and trash everywhere and shit. And then, with their with I guess there was that girl that was like I guess their friend and their assistant or whatever, and they were claiming that there was like the sex party thing. And how could all this happen on that bus and it not be part of this documentary or a bigger part of the documentary? Like
yeah.
it was weird to just throw that out at the very end, and it's like what is happening? That made it all feel a little uneven to me, if I'm being honest. But then again, I'm not denying any of these claims. Don't get me wrong. That's not what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a weird spot, because I don't know that much about how the relationships were and all that stuff. But it's also, I'll just preface, it is interesting context that at that point he had been divorced from Susie, he had just lost Michael, he'd lost his grandfather, and then he lost Haim, like all in a short, like 3-4 month period. So as somebody who myself has gone through a number of deaths in the past year that felt like just boom, 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 it fucks with your head quite a bit. So I can only imagine that had a lot to do with his, all right, I want to be Hugh Hefner now. Like,
oh yeah, dude, yeah. It's hard to put yourself in that position because you can only imagine the toll it takes. And with Feldman, the guy tends to put his foot in his mouth more often than not, and he did a big one in this doc.
Yeah, I can't see that nobody starts out with the worst of intentions, right? And then something happens and some other section, like, I don't know, you get wrapped up in your vision. And I think that's a big part of what happened is he was just very much in this bubble of this has to work.
Yes, most definitely. And you saw that he wasn't equipped to deal with things maybe on a professional level. And that shit, it's rough, man. He put himself in one hell of a position. I'll say that as well. I know the tours following were definitely planned better and smaller scale, etc. So it's like I think the guy can learn. I do think he owes people apologies and whatnot. I think he should face the documentary honestly you know, 10 years is a lot of time for you to kind of recoup and build up and try to, you know, gain some goodwill if you think you owe it or whatever. But out of all that, out of everything that happened in the
Oh
documentary,
boy.
like the one thing that made the news or went viral or whatever was his just needless comments about Corey Haim. I wish he would have worded that different because I saw that. I knew what he meant. You knew what he meant.
But like worst possible way you could have worded it, my guy. Like
Worst possible way.
When you've got somebody that's trying to come onto you sexually and you don't want that, and you're a kid and you're scared, you do whatever you can to stop it from happening. And that's what was happening. I was being molested by Corey Haim. Truth be told.
And to see that, it hit me, man, because I love Corey Haim, maybe even a bigger Corey Haim fan, if I'm being totally honest, when it comes to the films and whatnot. So it's like to see that, it shocked me. It did. I literally kind of like, I had to stop it and restart because I was missing what he said next, what was happening next.
Yeah, I gotta take that
Like,
in.
yikes. Like, that is going to be a thing.
I didn't even pick that up as far as like, oh, this is going to be everywhere. But then as soon as headlines started popping up, like, well, of course. How did I not think about that?
Yeah, I didn't think it was going to, I honestly didn't think it was going to blow up as big as it did. But I knew for sure, you know, the hater channels, all et cetera, that they're going to have a field day with this. And I immediately thought of Judy, just like, Jesus Christ, man.
And it's just an ugly situation because Feldman has made an effort since his own doc, My Truth, whatever you want to think of it or whatever, he has made an effort to not bring up Haim shit in interviews. He's mainly talking about himself because of the whole blowout with Judy. My heart broke for her and Carrie and just everybody on that side of the family and all of their fans. Like, they don't need to be dealing with this splattered all over every fucking article because it was insane. Anytime I open up Facebook, 2 more articles popping up about it.
And just for no reason, there was no reason for him to say that. That's the thing. I was like, why were those your words? And for anyone out there listening that thinks we're, you know, nitpicking, what the guy meant was something that he's stated multiple times. He's made a whole documentary pretty much where he built on that, and it's in his book. He talks about it, you know, basically how confused Corey Haim was, and it was more of when you read it and you hear him talk about it, it's more of a guy worried about his friend, and he's like, dude, why do you think this is normal, or like, why are you saying this? And then, you know, you realize how confused these 2 young kids are in this.
Yeah, it made me go back to the book because I know he goes into detail about that a little bit. And that was one thing that stuck out to me was page, I think it's 141, where he goes into the details of that. There's a whole third of that section that goes into trauma response and victim stuff like that. And it feels like it's written by a third party, like maybe an editor, because even just in the interview footage that's presented in Corey Feldman versus the World, where he says that, there's a stark difference between that guy and the guy in My Truth, where clearly at that point he's gone into more research about sexual abuse and trauma response and that kind of thing. So
you're right. Yeah, I mean, that's a fact right there. Like,
it's a horribly vulnerable moment of him just being open, and just that's the vibe I get. Is he didn't know how else to word it at that point, but Jesus Christ, still, like,
yeah, most definitely, man. Because that's the thing too. We can't imagine the damage that was done there, and I get that, I do. But it was just too hard to hear. It was, no matter how you slice or dice it, unnecessary. I get that it was that long ago, and I do think that your response to it does make a lot of sense there, because he made his documentary in between this time, so you're almost looking at a different person. But nobody is going to see that. Nobody is going to acknowledge that, and they're just going to see the headline, which sucks.
That's what hurt really about it, was the fact that nobody's providing that context. Not that it makes it that much better, but
if Feldman would come out and maybe address it directly, which he kind of did. I know he made a post about it or whatever, but I know Judy ain't trying to hear it, you know. But
I can't blame her. Like,
make more of an effort to try to put it out there, just so maybe she knows. Or I think that there's no.
I thought about that too. Like, maybe is there a way he can reach out to her? And it's like, no, that ship has sailed. I don't like, she wants nothing to do with him. I don't know.
Man.
It's an ugly spot to be in.
It was, dude. And then just to think of all the negative channels out there that are just going to eat this up and spread it further. And
I noticed somebody already edited Feldman's Wikipedia there's that section about friendship with Corey Haim, and they've now changed it to reported friendship with Corey Haim. And they include they include the quote, but they only say in 2025. They don't provide the context of he said it 10 years before. It doesn't make it any easier for Judy and them. Like I get that, but
And I haven't agreed with Judy on a lot of stuff over the years, mainly keeping Corey Haim's likeness and whatnot. I think it should be bigger than it is. More people should know who Corey Haim is. He should be on T-shirts. You know what I mean? It should still be a bigger deal because people love the guy. And
yeah.
little things here and there that I've seen her say I didn't agree with, but I've never felt like as bad for her as I did during all that, just because the whole situation's a mess.
Right before your dead son's birthday,
Oh
right
yeah,
before
man.
Christmas, like it just, yeah.
Yeah. And I know like Corey Haim even stated not long before he passed away, maybe in a few years or something, but that they were still cool, that they talk, people grow apart or whatever. It's not like they're licensed to drive their whole lives. You know what I'm saying? It's like they shared more than we'll ever know. More trauma, more bonding, more of all that. And just the fact that Feldman survived it all is spectacular on its own. But it's like we all really need to do better by Haim. You know what I'm saying? I know Feldman probably don't want to talk much about it, but I think he definitely should make some sort of official statement acknowledging all this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I understand, because again, it goes back to his entire career. Like this was stuff that I noticed watching him on The Surreal Life when I was like 10, right? And just he seems very defensive. He seems but again, as a kid, he was constantly being shit on by people who just didn't like him. There was nothing wrong with him. He didn't do anything wrong, but they just didn't like him. So then, like, okay, then he drops down, drug use. Aha, we can shit on him again. And from that point, it just became a routine. So especially those people who just didn't like him, now they're really sinking their claws in, like, look at this dirtbag. And
seriously, yeah,
it's just rough.
It's always bad timing. It's always bad wording. It just seems like he's just always has a hard time, especially when it comes to the media, but like he shouldn't be helping them out. So
Yeah,
it's just like I've only watched the documentary that one time. I do want to give it a rewatch. I do recommend it. It is a good documentary. It gives you a look at the guy that, even I was surprised. So we'll see what happens, man. I don't think we've heard the end of Corey Feldman versus the world.
Yeah, I guess going into some more pluses, like it was never my favorite musical era. I'm not huge on that album. I mean, Ascension Millennium is objectively a banger, but
yeah.
That's what's fascinating about it to me, is just like that fly on the wall sense of like you're on tour with them, and like it is fascinating.
Totally, yeah. So, I don't know, man. Well, it's going to be an interesting time. Well, I guess time will tell. We'll see what happens. I don't know. There's definitely going to be a bit more of an uproar, I feel.
I think I summed it up pretty good in one comment. I can't remember if it was on the Instagram or the Facebook, but we're never going to know the full story between them. And at the end of the day, like, we're fans and we think these movies deserve more of an audience than they already have. So that's what I'm hoping. People can stick with us on that front. And if you need to be that person that needs to separate the art from the artist, then understandable. But I feel like a lot of growing can happen with anybody over 10 years.
Yeah, for sure. Most definitely. And even so, like, you can separate the art from the artist and still be a fan of Two Coreys forever. Because, I mean, we'll touch on current events, but we're here to celebrate their films, so we're here for all of that. We love their movies. We're here to definitely keep Haim's legacy alive, and you won't see us lying to our audience. So that's what I'll say here. We love all of you guys listening, watching, whatever you're doing. Thanks for sticking with us.
Yeah, we like to keep it real.
Definitely. Yeah, so all that being said, I do recommend the documentary. Go check it out. It's out there. It's pretty cheap. You can get it. And you can also, after that, you can go watch Jake Perry's director's cut of Corey Feldman, artist, the man behind the love, to get the full spectrum on Corey Feldman's music career. You can watch that for free on YouTube. And speaking of good old Jake Perry, the legendary Jake Perry, well, it's safe to say here that luckily we're all very happy. We have a brand new member of the Two Coreys Forever family, as Jake had a gorgeous little girl. Congrats to our dog Jake. I mean, we love you. That's so awesome. We're happy to have another member of the crew.
Yeah, I was super excited for him, and he's just stressing over everything.
like
a good dad. So I've been there.
Yeah, dude, Jake, he's one hell of a guy. Very happy to have met that dude. good friend. I'm looking forward to hanging out with him again. I know with a kid now, it might be a little more difficult, but he's still holding it down. We're all looking forward to meeting the little gal. I got her a present. I'm gonna go ahead and say what it is right now. I got her one of those nice foreign firstborn posters, so that's gonna look
Oh
good.
shit.
It's gonna look good in her little room, which I'm sure Jake is gonna deck out for her.
Yeah,
So
I got some onesies designed that I got to get printed up that I was gonna
oh,
send them.
awesome. Yeah, man. Like we're all uncles at this point. So we got a brand new member of the crew, and I couldn't be happier for that. So shout out to Jake. Thanks for everything, buddy. You're the man.
Your name?
I'm actually, I'm with Allison Fulton. My name's Norman Forrester.
You're not on the list.
Oh, well, it should be right there under F. O.
I don't suppose you'd be lying to me.
And then talking about big news, we finally after I think it's over a year at this point, we finally got some physical media news for the birthday after we got the great reissue from Draft House Films, a new 4K transfer for the 20th anniversary. It did do like a mini theatrical run.
Yeah, yeah. I wasn't able to see it. It showed about 3 hours from me, but missed it.
Yeah, they didn't have any showings anywhere close to me. But
Yeah.
so I was waiting for come on, give us a Blu-ray. But we got a Blu-ray and a 4K coming out. I think it's in March. So
Yeah, and it looks so slick too, man, and like perfect timing. I can't wait to get my hands on one of these. I'm gonna have to finally just gear up and do the 4K thing. I'm more of a VHS guy.
yeah, I only just converted to Blu-ray a couple of years ago. So now it's now we get a new format, and you have to get a new player and a new TV. It's come on.
Yeah, dude. See, and I barely got into the Blu-ray thing, so it's but I'm a physical media collector. I still want a copy of this thing because it's unprecedented. Like finally, I know there's like copies on tape out there somewhere. I have not been able to find one. Stephen Monkey Mason, you son of a bitch. I know you have one, but I've been I've been wanting to find one, but the fact that this movie is finally coming out is insane. Because just a few years ago, I was like scouring the internet and like trying to find a rip of it. At one point I showed a rip copy on the channel like late night and just trying to get it out there, and I would make reels and videos about it, and Feldman would like them and share them. So, and this is before Jordan Peele got involved and got the movie kind of a little more notoriety. And so it's so nice to see that people do enjoy this movie, and it did hold up, that I was not wrong about it.
Yeah, I think that's how I first saw it, was through your rip or something. And I think
okay.
I'm assuming it's like that German DVD that it came out.
Yep. Yeah.
And not the best quality. So I'm really excited to see this in 4K all cleaned up.
Oh God. Yeah. I'm very stoked.
Should be amazing.
Yeah, and the fact that that's coming out, I know is a big deal for Corey too. So it's good. It's good to see him, getting a win in that arena as well. Because the guy's been doing a lot this year. I realized the documentary may have been an unwanted, out of nowhere dark spot, but like there's a lot of bright spots here as well. It's just like I also would like some new Corey Haim stuff on the way as well. I know the closest we got was those weird releases of Demolition High. It was like a German release or something. So it's
the media books. I think was that last year, the year before? I can't remember.
Last year. And every now and then we get like a 4K, of something. But I'm hoping for like some boutique label to do the Getaway series.
Yeah, like when are those? I was looking in the memories for the page and saw that I think it was last year. I guess Cynthia Rothrock did record interviews for what was supposed to be German Blu-rays, but then I haven't found anything on them. Like I don't know what happened.
I'll try to look into that, man. I know someone that guy that works with her and whatnot. See if you can get any word on that, because that'd be sweet. I was so excited when I heard that. But it's like, hey, at least we're getting the birthday, right? So things are happening either way. We'll see.
And going back to Arrow, we did finally get, I think it's on 4K and Blu-ray, we finally got this special edition Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trilogy box set.
Yeah, I saw that. I think you told me, right? There's like no interviews with Feldman or nothing.
I'm guessing maybe when they were doing that stuff, he was busy with Dancing with the Stars or his video, but they got pretty much everybody else, which is cool.
Yeah, you know what? That does add up though, because I remember seeing a few posts from people involved with the movie talking about how, like, saying that they're recording an interview for the box set. That was around that time. That makes sense. But damn, what a loss. That sucks.
I was really excited. Like, come on, you got to get Feldman in there somewhere. But
Feldman's such a big part of the Turtles franchise in general. Would have been
that's
cool.
right. Showed back up in the 12
Yeah.
series.
Yeah. So it would have been cool to see him talk about it. Hopefully he does on his own.
Well, I guess he is on like a fan expo tour with a bunch of the turtle voice actors. So it's like,
Oh, sweet.
it's kind of a mini reunion. I was like, okay, so they still get together. And
Oh, nice, man. That's cool. And you told me that Feldman's doing an expo near you soon?
yeah, in Vancouver next month. So it's cutting it real close. It's literally about a month, almost to the day away.
Man, it'd be
So I don't
great
know
if you can go, dude.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
That would be so cool. But I get the time crunch, you know. I want to make my way to Canada at some point to visit the Heemster's grave.
That sounds like a road trip that definitely needs to happen at some point for both
100%
of
going to
us.
do that. We'll make a thing of it. So that's about it for the new, I guess, like movie stuff that he has coming out. And there's always seems to be something. But I guess to go along with his Beatles inspired EP, he did announce more new music, right? Would he announce like another EP or something?
Yeah, it was some sort of like, I don't think it has a title yet, or if it does, he hasn't announced it, but I guess it's a dance EP, which I'm very curious because it's like, what kind of dance era are we talking? Are we talking more something in your eyes or later era?
Honesty, what you took from me. I want some new Jack Corey, you know?
Yeah,
I love that stuff.
I'm curious what that's going to turn into. Hopefully we
Oh
get more news
man.
on that.
Yeah, dude, that sounds like a fun EP. I'm looking forward to that one. I mean, it sounds more in his wheelhouse, I guess. It's interesting, like you said. It was a rough time being a Feldman fan, et cetera, et cetera. But on the same time, I can't see myself ever like being on one extreme or the other because it's strange. We grew up with this stuff. I'm a huge fan of both those guys, and I think that is something good that we're doing here with the podcast.
Yeah, at the end of the day, like together they were complicated. They were complicated guys individually, but I think the work does stand the test of time for the most part and deserves more attention. So hopefully you guys can stick with us on that one.
100%, man. Well said. So I guess that's about it for this little catch up episode. I know there's obviously more stuff we could talk about. We've been going on for a while, but we will be doing a more of a solid schedule, etc. So just stick with us, guys. Make sure you're following us everywhere you can, subscribe. But that being said, I mean, we've been busy on a lot of stuff on our own aside from, this. And I don't know, man. Like we're both filmmakers here. We're all here for a good time. We're here to put some weird stuff out there. This is why we're fans of these weird movies in general. That's why we hit it off so well together. That's why we're always recommending stuff to each other. So the fact that anyone who's into our stuff is about to see two original films from both of, our psyches, like what a time to be alive, because we're both working on some very strange movies.
Yeah, that's for sure, man. It's been a number of years trying to get this one wrapped up, but just I feel like I've lived 3 different lifetimes. Like life kept happening. So
yeah, man. What's it called?
Oh, it's called Nasty, and it's this over the top kind of 70s inspired exploitation horror film about a teenager who finds a possessed videotape and then is possessed by the soul of a serial killer, goes on a killing spree.
Now it's time to show you some scenes from Nasty. We'd like to show you what happens to this crippled victim, but we can't. We'd like to show you what happened to her boyfriend, but we can't. We'd like to show you what happens to this adorable child, but we can't. Because the intensity of this motion picture is too much for a single preview.
David Lynch, Phantasm meets Herschel Gordon Lewis sensibilities. So
Jesus, that sounds great. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, dude. I mean, as long as I've known you, you've been working on it. So I want to see what this thing is going to bring to the world, And I do have a little cameo in it too. So everyone, keep your eyes peeled on that one.
A very funny cameo. And then you were also working on something called Dog Trash. What do you want to tell everybody about that?
Yeah, Dog Trash. It's a short film, about 30 minutes probably at this point, but it is a post-apocalyptic action black comedy sci-fi adventure on a very small scale, zero budget. It tells the tale of Dog Trash, who is just this hopeless marauder in the wasteland of the apocalypse, spends his days getting drunk on robot juice left over from the leftover robots, and he decided to take it upon himself to rent the one and only copy of Street Gladiator 3, Back in the Habit, on VHS, and he did not return it. So now he has all of the wasteland warriors and gang marauders and all the bad guys coming to look for him to retrieve the tape, because everybody has to see this movie. And old Dog Trash, well, he finds some help when he stumbles upon a a dying toxic waste monster that he has to keep alive. Will he survive? So
That sounds pretty fucking wild, man. Like,
yeah, it should be fun. It's out there. It's in the vein of, Trauma and David Lynch, and Dark Backward was a big influence. There's a lot of weird influences, a lot of
I
stuff.
can see that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big mess. It's a trash kind of movie. It's a weirdo movie from Miserable Pictures. So it's going to be a fun time. And hey, my man Ken here has a cameo in my movie. A little different cameo, but
that's right.
Keep your everything peeled. You might catch it. We'll keep everyone updated. That's for damn sure.
For sure. If you want to stay updated, you can follow me at Black Maria LLC. And you can follow him at Staunch_TV.
Yes, you can. And please do that. We're on all these platforms. We're always out here showing love. Be sure to keep up, and we got a lot of stuff coming. I know our next episodes are going to be a lot of fun. We got a lot of stuff planned. Here, Ken, why don't you tell them about a little bit of those?
Well, I figured, this episode would be the perfect time to debut the next mindfuck poster homage that we're doing for the thumbnail. So boom, there it is. We're doing awesome. Lucas and Stand By Me, like two classics, celebrating their 40th anniversary this year. So it seemed to fit that ended up the way it is.
Great. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. My two personal favorite movies from both those guys. So
definitely up there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely got a lot to talk about with those. And we just lost Rob Reiner. That's going to be a fun one. Guys, make sure you hit that notification bell if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Spotify, all that, make sure to show us some love, share it around. And we will have some brand new stickers and stuff coming up in the next episode. So stick with us, guys. Stick with us.
Thanks so much for watching, guys. Thanks for following. Keep the comments coming. We love the community. Love the feedback. Keep it all coming. Until next time, guys. Have a good one.